Phase 4 of the MCU has blessed us with some great movies and some great TV shows and some not great movies and some not great TV shows. So as you can see, I'm recording in my car because I'm busy moving at the moment. But anyways, along with the new TV shows and movies, the MCU gave us some new characters as well.
Ugh, that was disgusting.
So I'm going to have a look at every new character that was introduced into the MCU in 2021. I'll do a separate video for 2022 because this video is already going to be long enough. And I'm only going to include the characters that we're most likely going to see return again in the MCU and not some one-off characters like a few of the villains who just got introduced and then were killed off immediately. Anyways, let's kick it off with the first MCU project in Phase 4, and that is WandaVision. And obviously the standout character in WandaVision was Agatha. I mean, Agatha was a pretty good villain and I know they're making a TV show about her, but I don't know if it's really worth it. Like, I don't know if I need an entire show dedicated to Agatha, but nonetheless, she was a very cool character in Phase 4 and I would not mind if she returned later down the line.
You're gonna need me.
If I do, I know where to find you.
Wait.
Next up is Monica Rambeau, and I know she appeared in Captain Marvel, so I don't really know if I should include her in this list, but she was kinda young in Captain Marvel, so I'll just put her on the list anyways. And I think it's fair to say that she's probably a very important character because she's getting her own solo movie, well, along with Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel, so the three Marvels are getting their own movie. So I guess she is a very important character, but is she a good character? I mean, I liked her in WandaVision. She was a very compelling character, very interesting. We know quite a bit about her backstory already, so we don't have to learn any more about that.
Yes, I know your history with Carol Danvers.
And I'm excited to see her reconnect with Captain Marvel and kind of learn more about her powers. And the last two characters on this list is Billy and Tommy, aka Wiccan and Speed. So I think it's fair to say that they are probably some of the most important new characters introduced in the MCU, mainly because Marvel is leading up to a Young Avengers and they have quite a crucial role in that team. So I think it would be cool to see them at an older age.
Let's just hope this dog stays the same size.
And I didn't really mind them in WandaVision. They were also very cool. Overall, all the characters in WandaVision were pretty solid characters.
It's funny you should say that, because I was looking through some old photos and it looks very, similar.
Oh yes, and how could I forget about White Vision? I mean, is White Vision technically a new character? I guess so, but he's kind of just a reskin of an older character. You know, we got that old Ship of Theseus monologue.
You are familiar with the thought experiment, the Ship of Theseus, in the field of identity metaphysics. Over time, its planks of wood rot and are replaced with new planks. When no original plank remains, is it still the Ship of Theseus?
And ever since WandaVision, we haven't seen White Vision or heard about him at all, so I don't know what's happening to him. I don't know if he's going to appear in another MCU project or movie, but it's weird that they brought him in, they used him for like the last episode, and then he just flew away, never to be seen again.
I am Vision.
So I'd say they would have to bring him back. I'd like to see how they handle that relationship between Wanda and Vision. But yet again, we don't know if the Scarlet Witch survived that little accident in Doctor Strange 2. But let's be real, unless you see the body, then they most likely aren't dead. Moving on to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So there were really only two standout characters in the show that we're most likely going to see return. I mean, they are definitely returning because of the new Thunderbolts movie. And the first one is John Walker. John Walker is an interesting one because at first I could not stand the guy. I thought he was just like some pretentious little wannabe Captain America. But as the show went on and we learned more about his character, it was actually really intriguing and I started to feel sympathy for the dude.
This is all really easy for you, isn't it?
Like, I don't know if they were going to make it seem like he was supposed to be an antagonist or something like that, because they made a whole big deal about him killing someone with Captain America's shield. And I mean, like, really, how many people has Captain America killed with that very shield? So how is this any different? But I'm not going to get into that right now. The other important character that was introduced is Valentina something, I can't remember her name.
Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. Actually, it's Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. But don't call me Val, just keep it in your head.
So Val is also a very interesting character because it seems like she's going to be the Nick Fury of the Thunderbolts or the Amanda Waller type character. You know, where she goes around collecting anti-heroes or villains to come together and fight for something that for some reason the Avengers wouldn't be able to fight against or something. I don't know. Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if she has quite a major role in the MCU going forward. And is she a good character? I mean, it kind of seems like they want to make her out to be that way, where she's kind of helping out these lost heroes or whatever. But deep down, we all know she has some hidden agenda that's going to come out and basically screw everyone over.
We're gonna need a US agent.
So far, every character on this list has been a good inclusion in the MCU, but yet again, this list is only for the 2021 Phase 4 shows and movies. So when we get to the 2022 movies and TV shows, then that's going to be a very different discussion. By the way, I would really appreciate it if you tap that like button and subscribe if you haven't yet. Anyways, we get to the first movie of Phase 4, which is Black Widow. And I'm not gonna lie, Black Widow wasn't great, but I kind of enjoyed it. It really had a lot of good moments, but again, the only issue is that it's a prequel, so... But on the plus side, Black Widow probably has the best new characters in the MCU. I mean, Yelena and Red Guardian. Those two characters were just such a gem to watch on screen. Like, I would have no problem if Yelena replaced Black Widow, because she's such a charismatic character, very energetic, very fun, and just like her whole energy, her vibe is just really on point. And I was really excited when I saw her return in Hawkeye.
Hi.
And the Red Guardian, also an amazing addition to the MCU. Ever since I saw David Harbour in Stranger Things, I don't know, it's just weird because I seem to like every character that he's played ever since. Next up on the list is Shang-Chi, and I'm not gonna lie, Shang-Chi was a lot better than I was expecting. It was hands down one of the best new MCU movies. Like, the action in that movie was unmatched, and I really hope we get more fight scenes like that in the new Daredevil show, but obviously a lot more violent. But it just goes to show that Marvel can make really great fight scenes. I mean, look at all the Captain America movies. Those movies are such great action films. But anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. So Shang-Chi as a new character, I think he is also a great addition to the MCU, along with Awkwafina's character. I can't remember her name, and I assume most likely his sister would be returning in the future. And yes, it is a shame that his father died, because I also thought that his father was such an amazing antagonist in that film, up until we get the whole CGI dragon demon fight. But even that wasn't really as bad as people make it out to be. So overall, I'm really excited to see the Shang-Chi characters return later down the line, to learn more about the legend of the Ten Rings, even though we didn't really learn much about them in the movie itself. So I assume they're saving that for the sequel, maybe.
Welcome to the circus.
Okay, so I'm just gonna group this next bunch into one bunch. Yes, I said that. And that is the Eternals and the Harry Styles character. I don't know, I don't really want to spend too much time talking about this. The Eternals had such a good thing going for them, but I honestly think that it should have been a TV show instead of a movie, because the movie was just so jam-packed with exposition and us trying to learn about each individual character that we never really grew attached to them as much as we'd like to. Don't get me wrong, there are some really heartfelt moments throughout the movie, but I don't know, it just kind of felt a bit rushed, and it could have been a lot better in my opinion. So it was very average, but am I excited for them to return later? I don't know, obviously they will be returning, but it just begs the question as to how are they going to fit in the timeline moving forward. Alright, so we're nearing the end of this list now, and the last show of 2021 was Hawkeye. Hawkeye might have been one of my favorites, and I know that's a very unpopular opinion, but Hawkeye has always been one of my favorite Avengers ever since the first Avengers movie, and the introduction of Kate Bishop, played by Haley Steinfeld, I mean, that casting, she was rather exceptional in the role, and the dynamic between Yelena and Kate was just so entertaining, and I wish we get to see more of that.
What was that? I don't know.
So I think Kate Bishop might be my favorite new addition to the MCU. This next character is an interesting one, and that's Wilson Fisk, aka Kingpin. So I don't even know where to start with this one. Listen, I loved Daredevil. It may be one of my favorite TV shows of all time. The writing, everything about it, the characters, the action was phenomenal. Wilson Fisk in Daredevil was just terrifying. And then we have him in Hawkeye. I don't hate him in the show as much as other people do. Like, I think it's the best that we could have gotten in a PG family-friendly show. Not to mention the fight scene in the final episode with Kate Bishop and Kingpin. Like, that was just so sad to see. Like, I get it, Kingpin probably didn't want to kill her, but then Kingpin gets exploded. But had this been in Daredevil, that explosion would have fucked him up. Like, he would have been bleeding, his face would have been like ripped to shreds, his suit would have been all over the place. But it's as if that explosion was just a mild inconvenience. And yes, I know that he was killed at the end of Hawkeye, so why would I be talking about him if he's not going to be returning? But listen, if you don't see the body, he's not dead, and they would not bring in Vincent D'Onofrio as the Kingpin back for one episode only to kill him off immediately in that same episode. So he's not dead. He is most definitely returning, and I think he's going to be wearing an eye patch or 2 eye patches or something like that. So yeah, this is not the last we see of the Kingpin, and he most likely will be returning in the new Daredevil show.
Yeah, baby!
Bringing us to the highlight of 2021, Spider-Man No Way Home. And yes, you may be looking at me like, all those characters we've seen before, they're not new, they were in a movie that came out 20 years ago, but they are technically new in the MCU, and I'm pretty sure this isn't the last we see of them, specifically Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. But I'm not going to talk too much about Spider-Man No Way Home, because I have made so many videos about this very movie, so you can check them out, it's in my MCU Spider-Man playlist. So out of all the characters that were brought back into Spider-Man No Way Home, I don't think that the villains would be returning, but Tobey and Andrew would most likely be returning in Avengers Secret War. Based on all the rumors, nothing's confirmed, but if Marvel wants to break box office records, then having the GOAT in that movie is the golden ticket.
Goat. Really? Yes.
And that's it. Every new character that was introduced in Phase 4 of the MCU in 2021. Be sure to stick around for Part 2, aka 2022 edition. Oh, and if you want to check out the craziest MCU fan theories, then click here, and I'll see you guys in the next one.